Hello, welcome to this week's United by Red. And yeah, we have continuation of the Premier League. And I think it's only right we start this week with the team that we still believe are favourites for the Premier League, Arsenal. Extremely dominant yesterday, which we can look at. But I want to pose a question to you. Odegaard went off with a shoulder injury. Saka went off with a apparent hamstring injury, which Arteta has come out and said is significant.
It was definitely a hamstring injury because you saw him holding it.
Is this a crisis already?
Well, as you know, we don't very often have much planned for this show.
No.
Because we're not Top Gear or Sky Sports News. But I did make a couple of notes, and I started writing notes of Arsenal got too many players. And I watched yesterday's game and realised that saying that now would look a bit stupid because half of them were injured. So before the game, I was figuring out who Arsenal were going to play up front during the season, and they got too many players. They just simply had too many players for the positions. I mean, they'd signed Madueke and Eze, who were both going to play in the same place, but they've already got Martinelli. They've got this young lad who came on yesterday. They've got Saka. They've got Odegaard. They've got Gyökeres up front. They've got the other guy who's injured, Trossard. They've got the German who's injured, who's absolutely rubbish. Who's up front, Havertz. And I'm guessing there's more that I forgot. So I started off thinking, how are they going to keep all these players happy? And they finished yesterday with probably not enough players now. It was quite a bit of a turnaround, to be fair. And I don't know, because I thought we missed, obviously, we were on last Sunday, and Man U played Arsenal, didn't they? And can I say Man U were the better team? They were as good as them, if not better than them, throughout the game. And then Arsenal come out this week and absolutely annihilated Leeds. So I don't know which is the true Arsenal, to be fair. Because if it's the Arsenal that played Man United, they're not going to win the league. If it's the Arsenal that played Leeds, then, yeah, they probably are still favourites to win the league. I mean, the rumours that Eze is going to play as a 10, so he technically is going to be pretty happy that Odegaard's injured because that slots him straight into the team, doesn't it?
Yeah, in theory it does. Completely.
I think Saka's a massive miss for him. Although Gyökeres got 2 goals yesterday, so if he's going to start scoring, then it probably... I don't know who plays on that side. I'm guessing Wanyeri will play there now. And then it'll be, that Chelsea player on the left-hand side. So they've still got a strong front line, haven't they? Just won't have a lot in reserve. And the problem for them is when the Champions League kicks in, are they going to have to keep playing players Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday? So I don't think it's a crisis as yet. I think it's early in the season. I'm guessing Odegaard won't be out for too long. They'll probably be back before the main Champions League games get going. Saka could be out for a while. But the signing
just looked like a knock on his shoulder more than anything. But the Saka situation, this, again, we believe it's hamstring. If it is the second time in under a year. He was out 4 months back end of last season.
And it's early in the season as well. I mean,
is he in danger of being one of those very unlucky players that's got all the talent in the world and having a career ruined by a hamstring, aka Michael Owen?
Yeah, and Jack Wilshere. I mean, I know he wasn't hamstrings, was he? But he had a very good career, ruined by the fact that he could only play 20% of the games in the season. And there's been a few, hasn't there? So, I mean,
Saka's goal.
I wasn't aware that it was a sort of an issue for him. I don't particularly pay that much attention to Arsenal.
He ended up having surgery.
It'll be a shame if it's a long-term injury, especially going into a World Cup year. But then again, if you're an England fan and you're not an Arsenal fan, do you really care that he's injured now? Because by the summer, he's going to have played half the games he probably could have played.
True. There is that.
Not a good thing if you're an England fan. So I'm guessing if you're not an Arsenal fan, you don't give a flying toot, do you? And if you're an England fan, it's probably to our advantage a little bit because he won't have played the first 10, 12, 15 games of the season.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, instead, we don't know how bad it is. Arteta's just said significant, which for a manager to come out and say that, literally,
you're thinking like 6 to 8 weeks, aren't you? At least, which is 10 games probably for Arsenal.
Is it worse than that? He's come out and said it's directly after the game, having said he's not even spoke to the doctor. So could we be back to 3-4 months again, like we were.
I say, if
back
you're an
in
Arsenal
last
fan,
season.
it's not good, is it? If you
No.
support any other club, you don't care. And if you're an England fan, it's probably a little bit of a blessing for us because it's, he's not going to be worn out. Come Christmas, he's probably only going to be hitting his stride. So, yeah, it's not good for Arsenal,
Potentially.
is it? They looked good enough yesterday to possibly survive without him. So, yeah, I think they'll be fine.
I think, as good as Arsenal were yesterday, they played some brilliant football. I think they were flattered by how bad Leeds are right now.
Yeah, and that makes last weekend's, because we did a list last week, didn't we, who were going down, and I think we came up with 7 teams, and then we forgot to. I watched your last game of the weekend was Leeds Everton Monday night. I watched it Wednesday morning, I think, in the end. And Everton in the first 45 minutes were the worst team I watched all weekend. They were literally horrendous. I mean, I watched the extended highlights, which gives you like 15 minutes a half, and I didn't see one Everton attack against a newly promoted Leeds side. So if Leeds were as bad as they looked yesterday, I don't know how bad Everton are. I mean, I'm not even sure they'll get to the end of the season. It was so they can go in that list as well, along with West Ham, who played Chelsea Friday night,
Yes.
and just capitulated as soon as they conceded a goal. Yeah, I mean, I made a quick note to say, is this going to be the worst Premier League season we've ever had for quality? There seems to be so many bad teams in this season. I mean, I watched Villa yesterday. Villa are bad. Villa are really bad.
I was speaking to somebody earlier and I said,
don't know how they score goals, Villa. I watched them yesterday and they set up with McGinn on one side, who's not a winger or an attacker. They got 2 lads in midfield, one went off injured. I'm just looking at them all across the park and thinking they're just so light of any real quality. And they were so good last season. So, I mean, are they paying for it again this season because they played so many games last season, did so well, which you see a lot, don't you? They look so bad in the first 2 games. I mean, I liked watching Villa last season. If the Villa game was on, I mean, like it was yesterday, Villa Brentford.
yes.
I would watch that game because Villa and Brentford were 2 of the best teams to watch. And yesterday, it almost felt like a relegation fight in week 2. It was a rubbish game with void of any quality. I mean, Brentford's goal, their new signing, runs through on goal and scuffs it into the keeper, and it just falls back to him and taps it in. And that was about the only thing that happened in the game with any quality. And it was rubbish, to be fair. It was, yeah, there's so many poor teams for me. Everton are poor, West Ham are horrendous. Villa look poor. Newcastle don't look poor, but they're not going to be as good as last season if they don't play Isaac. They're going to be well behind on the points tally from last season. I think the only team I've watched, I'll not put Man United in there just yet, but the only team I've watched so far this season that look considerably better than last season is Tottenham. About the only side I've watched, and I thought, actually, they look a damn sight. I mean, I do think Man United looked great last weekend, considering we lost, but I think Tottenham looked brilliant. Absolutely unbelievable. Both games they've played. For a team that finished 17th and, the state they were in at the end of the season, I think that's the only team so far this season I've looked at and thought, actually, you look a hell of a lot better than you did 12 months ago.
And they're a sixth of the way to their points tally of last season already. They are racking them up rapidly.
I mean, by the end of September, they'll have got as many points as they had last season.
I mean, I think we do just kind of need to go back to last Sunday while you brought it up. Before the game, we said there was a way for Man United to lose that game if they were going to lose it. They lost that game in the best way possible.
It was a script. We wrote the script on this show and they followed it to a T, didn't they? Because, like I say, I'm a Man United fan, so I'm going to be biased. But in my opinion, we were better than them for most of the game. We created not a lot of chances, but the better of the chances. It's a sloppy goal, but listen, you can't say nothing about it. It's, a goal's a goal. They deserve to win. They scored the only goal of the game. We should have had a penalty. I don't care what anyone says. That's a penalty. And had we had our striker up front from the start, I think we'd have probably at least got a point.
Absolutely. You deserved a point at least.
Yeah,
and Buemo looked brilliant. Cunha was brilliant.
If we play like that for the rest of the season, I'll be a happy man no matter what happens. Because that's all you can ask. If the team turn up and play, that's what I was saying last week. If the team turn up and play like that, you don't mind losing 1-0 to Arsenal. You can take that all day long. I got up the next morning and I was buzzing that felt like we were back. We felt like we were a football team again. And with a chance of at least having a decent season. this time last season, we'd have probably got a draw out of that game, and I'd have just been depressed because we'd have looked just 11 people turn out on a pitch. So yeah, I thought it was a good game, to be fair, but I thought we did really well. And like I said, we literally wrote the script on here of how the game should and could go, and it did. So I was quite happy.
There was a way to lose it, and you did the best way possible, because the only thing you didn't score was the only thing you didn't do was score. You deserved at least a draw from
I
from
think
what
you
I
looked
saw.
at the players. I mean, Dorgu looked like a man revitalised down the left. Cunha is a different level to anyone we've bought in the last 8-9 years. I mean, he did more yesterday than Sancho's done in 4 seasons. Sunday, sorry. Even Mbeumo, I mean, didn't have his best game. He looked a bit rusty when it comes to his finishing, but his running and his passion and his desire to be on the pitch was, again, I think back to Sancho and Rashford, and we swapped for Cunha and Mbeumo, and they're not even in the same league as them. It's in one game. Just the desire to be there, the effort. I mean, Cunha's maybe a tricky, skillful player, but his work rate is unbelievable for that type of player. The amount of times he gives the ball away quite a bit because he's always trying that killer pass, that last, but he does win it back. And when he went on 2 or 3 runs, and I was like, this is a guy from another planet to us. We've not had a player like this for a long time.
All you've got to hope now is that you don't Man United them and take
I mean, we have bought good players before. I mean, if Sesko is as good as them two are in a parallel world, if them 3 can all be at their best, we have got a really good chance of doing something, at least. Because that's, if he's up there with them and he can play on their level, then, I'll be over the moon, mate. So, like I say, I thought we were really good. We weren't faultless by any stretch, but we looked good defensively. I thought De Ligt was amazing. Lenny Yoro looks like a seasoned vet, and he's still a teenager. I mean, Luke Shaw, you just look at Luke Shaw and think, if he can stay fit, for all the piss take I take out of him, he's such a good player. He's just so fucking injury prone. But if he can stay fit, and for England as well, I know England probably don't need him, but he's such a good backup for England. It's to go as a reserve centre half, stroke reserve fullback. It's such a good option when he's playing well. He's such a good player. He's just fucking injury prone as hell. And you daren't look at the news because you just know it's going to be a Luke Shaw out for 3 months. But he plays so well. Well, the only person that didn't cover himself in gore, it was the keeper, and then Agati when he came on. I thought Agati was so poor, and I like Agati. I think he's got some great qualities, but the keeper looked shaky early on. I don't think he had a bad game after that. Didn't have a lot to do, and Agati just looked well off the pace.
Agati, for me, ability-wise, doesn't look terrible. His decision-making at times is just awful. I mean, there was late on, he picked the ball up about 30 yards out, and he lashes it at goal. And it's like,
I said to
this is not. It's just
I said to a friend of mine, when Agati starts, he seems to be a different level to when he comes on a sub. When he comes on a sub, he never seems to pick up the pace of the game. Some players just come on and it's like Solskjaer used to come on. He just like he'd been there all day. When Agati comes on, he's always a yard short, and he always seems like if he starts the game, maybe he starts the game quite poorly in first 5-10 minutes, then grows into it. I don't know, but yeah, he was way off it. I mean, he won't be starting today. After that cameo, because
you tried to predict the team last week, and
although to be fair, I did say he may go without a striker. I didn't expect it, but he did go without a striker. But there were 1 or 2 selections I didn't pick. I mean, Casemiro I thought was brilliant again, but he played in a role that suited him. He was quite restricted. He just sat in the middle of the park, didn't have to run around a lot. Because he got people in front of him doing the work for him, and I thought he played quite well. It suited his style of play. It was more like the old Casemiro, where he just covered that sort of half of the centre circle and let everyone else go and do what they do. Yeah, like I said, there were 2 people. I said the goalkeeper let himself down. It was a big chance for him. Nana's obviously out of favour for some reason. He was fit to play last weekend and didn't. The rumours are he'll possibly play today, but we have bought a young keeper from somewhere in Europe. Sounds like he's going to be coming in to challenge or possibly play as number one. So I'm guessing one of the keepers will leave. It looks like Anana because otherwise he'd have played last weekend. But yeah, I don't know which keeper will play today. I don't think he's really. I mean, there were calls for Tom Heaton to play, which is concerning if you've got to play the 40-year-old backup that's only there to make the numbers up. But we just need a solid goalkeeper at the moment.
Yeah, because it's one of your weakest positions right now.
Yeah, but last weekend means nothing if we don't play the same today. So it's if we play like we did last weekend today, I think we'll give Fulham a good run around, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't if you can put in that sort of performance. My concern, well, not concern, because I'm not really bothered if you do well or not. It's more funny for me if you don't. My worry for you would be: was it Arsenal at home and you'd got that will to get up for that game, and then you come to a Fulham game, which you've done over the last few years. You've managed to get up.
Yeah, no, over the last few years, that's probably been our biggest problem. Is the big games are easier to get up for. We go to Palace away or Fulham at home, and we're flat. Like I said, I just hope that that's down to the personnel that being in the team. Too many egos that only want to be there when the limelight's on them and they're not interested in these. It's like next weekend we're at home to Burnley at 3:00 kickoff. It's not a big game. It's not all eyes on United. It's not on TV. They're the games where we used to struggle in the past. It almost seemed like because the big egos weren't, in the limelight, they didn't turn up and perform. So I'm hoping that we change that philosophy a little bit, but only time will tell on it.
So of the other top clubs yesterday,
Manchester City. Before we leave last weekend, can we just talk about the VAR debacle again? Because
we can't.
No. I can't. Can anyone explain to me how Forest don't get a penalty and Everton do? Because I've watched both.
No, Leeds got a penalty, not Everton.
Sorry, Leeds get a penalty and Forest don't get a penalty. Yes. I mean, for me, the Forest one is a penalty, but I'm happy if it's not given. If they're going to be lenient on it, that's fine. But I'm edging towards penalty. I'd have given a penalty myself because his arm's away from his body and he's 10, 15 yards from the ball. The Everton one, I've watched it from every possible angle. I can't see how it's a penalty. I can't see. And the first question I ask myself, as you do, because I'm 40 and I talk to myself a lot, is where was his arm meant to be?
That was my exact same question as well. Yes, he leans towards the ball.
That's not illegal.
To try and block it.
That's not illegal, though, is it?
And without physically severing his left arm, there's nowhere else it can go. It's down by his side. It doesn't extend.
The guy said he should move his arm out of the way. I'm like, but to move your arm out of the way, you must lift it up. That would then be in an unnatural position. And if it did hit behind him, well, I mean, it almost was, weren't it? I mean, it was like, the first thing I thought is, if you're in VAR, the first thing I would think is hit his arm. Was his arm in a natural position? And if I've got to question that, is where would I want his arm to be for it to be in a natural position? And it had to be where it was. That's where I looked at it. First thing I thought, I just can't see how you've given that as a penalty. And then some guys reviewed it and not said, no, it's not a penalty, that, mate.
He doesn't make himself bigger. His arm's in a natural position. He doesn't move his arm in any way. So are we saying that if a shot's blasted at you and it hits you, tough? Because all we're going to get is people aiming for people's arms at this point to get a penalty. So
we're trying to get footballers to play with their arms, hands behind the back, tucked into each other, hand in hand behind your back. That's not a natural position. That's not a natural position of a footballer.
And you can't defend like that. You disadvantage your defender because they can't move.
Your arms are attached to you. They should be down by your side. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I said the other day, I kind of wish they'd just do away with handball. And I'd rather just do away with it. Just let people go at it like that. And if it hits your arm, just hit your arm, play on. Just do away with it now, because we've got to the point now where you're almost not allowed to play with two arms. It's you're detrimented for having two arms, which is a problem because 99% of footballers have got them. It's like,
yeah,
it's week one. And then the Forest one, which was like worse, didn't get given, and didn't get given. And I'm like, how can you look at? You've already seen the Everton one. Sorry, the Forest one gets given. You go to the Everton one, and I'm like, how can you not reference the previous day as the sort of the line for the penalty? And if Forest don't get theirs on Sunday or Saturday, how is Everton's worse than Forest? It's not. So if that's the boundary that's been set by VAR on Saturday, then follow it through the weekend and say that wasn't one, that can't be one. But they didn't. It's like,
But what you've done there is you've applied logic and reasoning and a consistent method. VAR is none of those things.
it's just
It
stupid,
is a
isn't it?
ad hoc mishmash of people just watching videos and hoping that they eventually say something that might be rational.
Doing away with, do away with it. Just do away with it. It's fucking shit. It just.
Oh, go on. You've done your complaint of the week. Shall we move on to mine?
Yeah, I mean, I can think of a few, so I'm not sure where you're going to go with this one, but it could be interesting.
The game at the Etihad yesterday afternoon.
You didn't watch this live, did you?
No, I watched it this morning on the highlights.
When I see this happen, the first thing I think is not how shit a City or what are they doing. I was thinking, I wonder what Rob's thinking. It was literally if I had to play a goal, if I had to make a goal up of your worst sort of nightmare in football, it would have been that one. It literally played out to a T as you would have described it. What's he doing?
What? Right, I've got to try and get my words out here. Why is the defender taking a goal kick and passing it to a goalkeeper? What are we doing?
He then passes it to a midfielder 3 yards in front of him with his facing his own goal.
He passes it to the penalty spot. He's facing backwards. Doesn't tell him there's a man on. Gets the ball snatched off him, and we concede. However, it was your goal kick, and within 8 seconds, you've conceded a goal. It's not. It's just not.
And it took me a long time to think about it, but I've got a solution to this.
Stop doing it.
Just kick it upfield. It's a goal kick, right? It's there in the wordings. Goal, kick, goalkeeper, kick it. Just kick it. Like a 12-year-old would do. Just kick it as far away from your net as possible, right? And it happened in one of the games I watched yesterday, and I can't think who it was. And the commentator went, it's so refreshing to see a goalkeeper kick the ball out. And they nearly scored because he went over the top. It was in the Brentford game, and he went over the top. I mean, the striker was absolutely useless, so there's no chance of him scoring. But in the theory worked. The ball went straight over the top, and he ran in on goal and nearly scored. And I thought, well, not only have you not conceded, you've nearly scored a goal as well.
I mean, so the Tottenham goal doesn't just buy into my hatred of playing out from the back. It's my new one of defenders taking goal kicks to pass it to the goalkeeper. Why?
Right. I don't know who said it. I don't know if it was Gary Neville who said it. He's like, the problem is now the worst footballer on the field is getting possession in the area. So you've got a defender who's not a great footballer passing to a goalkeeper who's even worse at football. Let's be honest. That's why he's a goalkeeper. He didn't become a goalkeeper because he was a great striker. He became a goalkeeper because he's shit at football. Right? So you pass it to the goalkeeper who's rubbish at football, and now he's got all the possession with everyone running at him. It's not Iniesta that's got it or Paul Scholes. It's a goalkeeper who's good with his arms. Some of them. And I'm like, it's the wrong way around, isn't it? You want him to have the ball the least, not the most. You know, if you're going to do this, why don't you bring, if you're Man United in the 90s, why don't you bring Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs back to take the goal kicks? At least the best players would have the fucking football then. Not Maguire and your goalkeeper or fucking Trafford and some defender that no one's ever heard of that City have suddenly found. Like, it's fucking madness. Absolutely. And you're losing at this rate.
So bearing in mind with the way the highlights are shown in the UK, it's all on one programme. We went from that game and we then moved on to the Arsenal game versus Leeds. Now, luckily for Leeds, theirs didn't lead to a goal because Garoque, I can't say his name, I apologise, Roque
kicks with
he spooned it wide. But my blood pressure at that point had gone from that game, then Leeds did it. I was like, am I going to sit and watch another hour and a half?
When a newly promoted team does it at Arsenal. We said this last season, don't we? Leeds aren't good enough to play out from the back against Arsenal. I know that, and I've had very little input into Leeds' tactics, but I can tell you that they're not good enough. I've only watched them once. They're not good enough. So if they do it again this season, they deserve to get relegated. Like when you get a goal kick, right? Get your men all into one corner of the pitch like we used to when we were young and just hit it as far as you can. right? And just see what happens. Just see what happens. Because the chances are the worst thing that happens is they're going to score. Well, they were going to score anyway. So just get it up there and see what happens.
I mean, to me, we look at goal kicks in the wrong way. So if you get a corner in the opposition, you get a corner, you get a free kick in the final third, you get a free kick on halfway, you'll put men into the box. Why do we not turn a goal kick into a potential set piece opportunity? So set out a formation for a goal kick. If that's 5 men wide right and you're going to play it out to the wide, and compete for the ball, fine. What isn't a tactic is pissing about with it on your own 6-yard box, giving it to their striker, and your goalkeeper's now stood out near the freaking corner flag because you've been twatting about with the ball for 5 minutes. And guess what? You've conceded. Well done. Yeah, I mean, great tactic.
There's been multiple.
I will need a few bleeps in that sentence
already by this, and we're only in week 1.5, aren't we? And we've only had 50% of this weekend's games, and we've had a full week of football, and we're already at the point where we've had enough of it. It's ridiculous.
I mean, we sound like a broken record. We had this conversation at least 8 times last season, at least, if not more. And we have done a week and a half, and I'm sat here going, I want to rip out my own eyeballs if I see another goalkeeper get a goal kick and tell the centre.
You know they're going to keep doing it, don't you? You know that it's going to happen again this week. Somebody today, probably Man United.
When they go into their tactical meeting, what is the tactical thinking that says, centre half, when we get a goal kick, you take it and pass it to the goalkeeper?
Who has possession of it anyway?
How is that a thing? How is that? It's just not.
I don't understand what the goalkeeper can do with it when you pass it to him. They couldn't do with it with the free kick that he had to start with that was his. He gets the goal kick. He's got options to pass it to any of his 10 outfield players from there. Why rolling it to him? Does that change any of his options other than narrow his options down? Because now 10 opposition players are running at him to mug him and make him look an idiot, aren't they? So I'm not sure what the probabilities were of it being a goal at a goal kick, but I'm consider considerably more once you've passed it 3 yards to the same guy who had possession when you started the move. It's just bonkers, absolutely bonkers. And now we're all counting 8 seconds as well. I mean, is this kindergarten now? Referee gets to 3 and then counts to 8 out loud, basically, in a stadium with 60,000 people where the goalkeeper can't hear him or probably fucking see him, right? I mean, the goalkeeper can't see that when he passes to his defender 4 yards away, he's going to lose the ball. How's he going to see the referee 55 yards away counting 5 seconds? It's honest, it's like watching under 12s, isn't it? The referee's counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Free kick, corner, whatever. Like, why are you counting to him? He's not a child. Let him count. Can he not count to 8? Fucking hell. It's bonkers, isn't it? I've just saw a referee do it. What's he doing? Is he counting players or no? It's just commentator when he's counting to 8 for goalkeeper. Oh, fuck me. We're all right here, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah.
We're basically dumbing down football at this point.
To a level that's even almost too dumb for me. And I'm not intelligent. I mean, fucking hell. It's gone. It's just, I mean, some of the football's been brilliant to watch. And I know we joke about these things because they are annoying. The football is great to watch and it's good for it to be back. But there's just so many things you look at and just think, how hard are we making life for ourselves? I mean, did we really need the 8-second rule in the corner? Has it made football any better? Have you looked at it this weekend and gone, wow, that's made football more exciting?
No, because funnily enough, I listened to an interview with Mark Clattenburg the other day, and he said exactly what we did. I don't understand why this 8-second rule exists because we had a 6-second rule. So why have we now got an 8-second rule?
No one stuck to. All we're doing now is actually counting it out. And you get the rule. Just got rid of the ball there in 6 seconds, and I'm like, is that commentary now? Is this the report we're going to get? It's not like a pit stop where you're reporting on Red Bull's 2.9 second pit stop and it's an epic stop. We're reporting that the keeper only took 5 seconds to disperse the ball. And I'm like, that's not entertainment.
For everybody, this should have always happened. Why are we now applauding that they followed the rule that they had all along?
And if it excessively has the ball, we don't need to count to 8. If he's excessively holding onto the ball, just stop it and say, sorry, you're hanging onto the ball for too long. We don't need, we're going to have a countdown clock on big screens next, aren't we? And it's going to be like, who wants to be a millionaire? Counting down to, just
And then
stupid.
when it all does happen, we'll give a corner.
A corner, yeah. Which is obviously the only option available. It's not an indirect free kick, which would be normal, like it was before when you did anything like this. We go all the way out to the corner flag, which is only the only team that get an advantage of that is Arsenal, because they can go from every corner they take, I think.
And then he came up with another good one. This whole messing about with throw-ins, because throw-ins are now taking forever instead. Stop booking people for time wasting. Just give it the other way. Move on with the game. Problem solved. Like we said 2 weeks ago.
The other week, when the ball goes out of play, it goes off a player, out of play there, and he takes it from 5 yards behind the player that it's hit to go out, and then goes. And it's like, that to me is worse than a goalkeeper holding the ball for 12 seconds. He's gained 15 yards. The player that it hit is now out of the game, and that's just all right. That's not a problem. Anyway, it goes out in one half of the pitch, and the edge up, don't they? The referee says stop there. So it takes 2 steps back, it takes another 5 steps forward, and then he looks around and he runs back and he runs up and throws it. Well, it took 15 steps further than where the ball went out. Why doesn't the linesman mark where the ball goes out and say, you take it from there? And that's it.
With his little magic spray.
Anywhere else, like you said, just give it to the other team. It's foul throw, other team get possession. We fix things that weren't broken and leave all the broken stuff unfixed. I mean, they need to fix handball because it's a joke. They need to fix people cheating at throw-ins. They need to fix the ball not being in play for more than 35 minutes a game. Things that actually ruin the entertainment of football. Not a goalkeeper holding it for 10 seconds instead of 8. Not all the other crap that we come up with VAR looking at whether it's toenail.
But I think we've kind of both ranted long enough there. Let's go back to a bit of positivity. Let's try and look at Arsenal's 15-year-old yesterday. Max, what is his name? Bauman. I've not got my glasses on again. I really should stop trying to read while I'm recording. So I don't wear glasses when I record. Max Dauman. 15-year-old. And he came on, and to be fair to him, for 15 years old, he had no fear. He ran at players.
I mean, I know lads at 25-year-old who can't get out of bed without their mum waking him up, and he's 15 playing at the Emirates. Yeah. Can you imagine him 15 and playing at the Emirates?
I mean, as much as I'm no Arsenal fan, the shot he had late on, I was praying for that to go in.
That one that spun wide.
Yeah, that would have been a brilliant goal. Just to kind of.
Can you imagine? I can't imagine making your professional football debut at any level. But can you imagine making your debut at the Emirates, which is one of the iconic stadiums in world football, for Arsenal, and actually playing well at 15?
Can you even remember being 15?
No. I can't remember 35. 15. I mean, there's no way in hell I'd have had the nerve or the skill or the ability to turn out at 15 and play for Arsenal. I'd have struggled at 24, 25, but at 15,
I don't know much about him. I'm hoping he qualifies for England, because looking at how he ran down that wing yesterday, and it looks like one for the future for England.
I mean, just the nerve of the kid to come on and try and take people on at 15. I mean, it almost fearless, weren't it?
Absolutely. We say he's 15, though, but then that gives you a worrying thought. He was born in 2009.
Yeah, I know.
We're getting close to people.
I'm not old enough to be his dad. I'm almost old enough to be his granddad. That's I am, pretty much. I mean, yeah, just everything that he did was pat on the back, lad. Well done. I mean, yeah. The first time he tried to beat his man. Did he get fouled the first time?
Yes, he did, out wide near the corner flag.
And I was like, go on then, lad. I will have a bit more of that. And then he goes again, and then he won the penalty. I mean, he won the penalty, I think, didn't he? Because it weren't a stonewall, but balls to it. I mean, the commentators were saying, "Oh, Gyökeres takes the penalty. That's what a real striker does." I'd have had to give it to him, I think, really, when you're 4-0.
Yeah.
In your mind, you think, "Oh, yeah, I must not." When you think something, and then the commentator says that, and you think, "Oh, that's probably why I'm not a professional footballer, because I ain't got that mentality." But I just think, fuck, I'd give the kid the ball. If he tacks that in, that's life changing, isn't it? Yeah. That might be the only time he ever plays for Arsenal, for all you ever know. But I mean, it won't be, but it could him roll a penalty and have him won it.
Yeah,
There's all
I
these
thought
dreams
exactly
of
the same.
once, aren't there?
Yeah, it would have been a good way to kind of. I
Goal
mean,
bonus alone will be ridiculous, even for a kid of his age. I mean, I'll be getting paid pence, won't he?
and it was already 3-0 at that point, so it didn't really matter, did it? It wasn't going to change the game if he
They got a
missed.
penalty in the last minute of the game, didn't they? I mean,
Yeah,
they
so
were
if he
4-0
misses it, it
left.
doesn't change anything. So just let him have
Change the
it.
game. Let him take it. If he misses it, it's not a big moment. It don't matter. It was something for his mates to have a laugh at. And if he scores it, I mean, simply the greatest year of his life, isn't it? Or some greatest day of his life at 15.
Oh yeah. So
I mean, it was nice to see, wasn't it? Doesn't it make a refreshing change to see somebody actually playing football because they love football? Because he ain't getting paid nothing, is it? I mean, he's getting paid a few £100 a week. So he actually went out on a football pitch to play football for the love of playing football, not because he needs a new Bentley or Ferrari or house or private jet. He just wanted to play football, and it showed.
And it showed quite dramatically.
Showed that it was all about just playing. Like I know Rooney were a multi-millionaire, but you always got that feel from Rooney, didn't you? That he just wanted to play football, hook, line, and sinker. It was just all about being on a football pitch. That sort of that vibe came from him. It was just, I don't care. I'm playing football no matter what. And yeah, good on him. I mean, I hope he gets more game time. I mean, I'm sure he will because he came on yesterday, so there's no reason not to.
From what the commentator said on our highlights, he featured quite a lot in pre-season, so I would say they've got quite decent hopes.
Yeah, I know they've been raving about him, but I didn't know who he was. Obviously, I'm not an Arsenal fan, so I don't pay attention. But yeah, it'd be nice to see that they're English. I'm presuming he's English.
Yes, he is.
And nice to come on and just, fantastic football. Absolutely unbelievable.
So we're a couple of hours away from the start of today's games. First two are Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. And then a game that...
You've done well there because you've just led into something I wanted to talk about, which was Crystal Palace.
It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
Crystal Palace are one of the better sides to watch last season, I would say. Won an FA Cup, did really well. They're almost on the edge of capitulating now, aren't they?
Yes.
Eze's gone. He's still there. He's got to stay. Looks like he might want to leave. They looked very poor the other day when they played. And kind of gone from hero to zero in one match in a couple of months over the summer. They've got to go and spend that money quickly.
To be fair to them, though, they have won the Charity Shield. Big trophy.
Yeah, I must say the team was still together, wasn't it? They had the unit that they had.
Yeah, true. They did win on Thursday night.
Played in the Charity Shield, and I thought they'll kick on. It's almost now like Eze's going to leave, Gahey's going to kick off or leave. Newcastle looking for a striker. Mateta's possibly could be available, could be an option for them. They could go from FA Cup winners, Community Shield, Charity Shield winners to potential relegation fighters in the space of 2 months.
You can't keep adding people to our potential relegation fight. We've now got half of the league.
Staying up a minute. 19 teams are getting relegated.
We were definite of 3 and Wolves might have been the 4th. We've now got to about 9 because he fell on the crap today.
Oh my crap. Everton are horrendous. Palace. I like Palace in a weird way. I don't know why I like Palace. I just like that underdog side. I like that. I like it when the underdog does well. I don't like Newcastle, but them winning the FA Cup, the League Cup I think that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's to see Newcastle beat Liverpool. I don't know if you're a Liverpool fan, you won't agree, but for everyone else, Newcastle winning was the highlight of the week, wasn't it? Look what it meant to Newcastle fans. Look what it meant to Palace fans. How they've been treating Europe as a disgrace, but that's another story for another day. But they're in the 2 teams that have won the British English Cups are almost in falling apart, maybe because of their success. Isak's forcing his way out of Newcastle. If Newcastle don't have a striker, they're going to finish considerably worse than last season.
Some would say they're going to finish outside the top 10.
But I mean, everyone's finishing outside the top 10, as we've just said. So I don't know who, we can't have 15 teams finishing the bottom 5, can we? So it's almost, that's what I'm saying, is it almost that almost 60, 70% of the teams are worse than they were last season. We've gone from a season where it seemed so competitive. Bournemouth were great. Fulham were good for quite a lot of it. Forest were brilliant. and I'm looking at Newcastle being good. All these teams, Palace won a cup. And I'm looking at most of them now thinking, probably other than Forest, most of them are going to be crap this season. For one reason
You've hit
or
the nail
another.
on the head, though. The teams are being a victim of their own success, which opens up a much broader and wider problem within football in general. Because you've got the big teams that monopolise the success, as soon as they see a Brentford, a Brighton, a Bournemouth, a Newcastle doing well, it's just, we'll go and buy all their players and take them off them.
Yeah, but it's almost like if you're a footballer and you're at your club and they win a cup, you then want to leave. And I'm like, is that not the wrong way around? Is it? Your team's successful and you go and leave. Eze has been at Palace for 4 or 5 years, never left. They win a cup and he goes and leaves. And I'm like, surely you stay for another season and see if the club can build on what they've done. That was the whole point of it. You've got to you're leaving at the top, not at the bottom. Just seems a really odd thing to me. It's like Tottenham sacking the manager. Seemed really odd after you've won the cup. It's like you don't leave on the high note. You leave when the team's struggling and you go on to better things. But maybe that's just me.
Because all these players are using all these clubs as stepping stones. Isaac's used Newcastle, Eze's used Palace, and Buemo's used Brentford.
Which is fine, but if you're Isak and you're using them as stepping stones, that's not a 5-year deal, do you? So that's not a stepping stone, that's a career move. And this is the problem, isn't it? And a few people have said, Alan Shearer said some crap and Michael Owen doesn't agree with him. I don't know, both fucking idiots if you ask me. But it doesn't matter what you think. Don't sign a 5-year deal if you only plan on being there for 2 seasons.
Yeah, Michael Owen basically said he agrees with everything he's done. I'm like, no, because he's been an unprofessional, spoilt brat.
Yeah. And I like Isak. For me, equally the best striker in the world currently. I think Haaland's probably still the best, and I think Isak's up there, not far behind him, as one of the best strikers in the world. He's a petulant child, though, for doing what he's done, and he deserves to sit and rot on the bench and his career fall down the pan. That's what he deserves. He won't get that; he'll get his move, but he does deserve that. And don't sign a 5-year deal with a club if you only plan on being there for 2.
It doesn't really make much sense, does it? Let's be honest.
If you sign a 5-year deal, you've got to be prepared to stay for 5 years. That's top and bottom of it, isn't it? Newcastle,
yeah, he never was.
Palace concern me in a way that I'm not really concerned about them, but I don't want them to fall apart after winning the cup.
And then the second game, this could be really dull. Everton, Brighton.
So what's the first game? Palace.
So Palace, Forest at 2:00, and then there's 2 2:00 games on a Sunday now.
Yeah,
the other one is Everton, Brighton. Which I don't want to watch Everton, Brighton. Yeah, I don't want to watch that.
See, I think Brighton is still in a good place. They were a good team last season. I think they'll still be a decent team this season. I say Everton were I think they were the worst team I watched last weekend. I'll give them the award for not to have an attack against Leeds in 45 minutes. That's of note that it can be shown on a highlights program is pretty damning when you're a Premier League tour. Everton have been in the Premier League since it was formed in '92.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't get a single chance against Leeds in 45 minutes in the opening game of the season. I don't know. I said Brentford were rubbish and they managed to get a win, but I don't see past Brighton winning that, I don't think.
Of all of those 4 teams playing, though, Palace, Forest has something about a game that I think could be very enjoyable.
Well, last season,
about watching Everton
if
is enjoyable.
Last season, Palace Forest would have been a really, really good. I just worry about Palace being up to the game, but I suppose they've only lost one of the players so far. I'm guessing Gahey still plays today. So, yeah, I think Palace Forest will be the game to watch. Actually, I've got no interest in watching Everton because they look like a car. Yeah. It's the first game at the new stadium, isn't it? And they were saying, the atmosphere will be great. And I'm like, that might be the case, but the team's still rubbish. If the atmosphere's great, I can send 11 players out. We're not going to beat Brighton, and I don't see Everton beating Brighton. They looked really bad.
Unless while ever there's another game on this season, I will never pick Everton to watch unless it's the Merseyside derby. But then I'm actually watching Liverpool. Let's be honest.
Everton need to hold the first Merseyside derby is about 2.5 years away because they're going to get absolutely annihilated if they play any time soon. Liverpool will run ring around them.
And then the final game of the weekend will see us head to Craven Cottage.
Is there no Monday Night Football then?
Give me a minute, man. Yes, I forgot there's Monday football.
So, obviously, with me not living in the UK now, there seems to be a new schedule. Is this the same every weekend, or is this just because it's opening? Because we've had Friday night football, Saturday afternoon football, Saturday night football, Sunday, Monday. We only used to get 4, and now we seem to have 6 games a week, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving it. I just hope they're not going to take it away from me next week, and I'm going to get 2 games.
It won't be as much every weekend, but there will always be all of the 2:00 kickoffs, however many there is on a Sunday, will now be on TV.
Okay.
Monday night football tends to be a thing the majority of the time. Friday nights will be hit and miss, I think. But
so Friday and Monday are not concrete now. I thought this was going to be the new roster. I thought if we're going to get Friday night football, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, that's fantastic. That's really up there, that.
So, yes, I will rephrase my quote as the final game of Sunday. We head to Craven Cottage. Fulham will host Manchester United, when a game last season I would have gone, United will probably lose.
Well,
again, based on last Sunday alone, I kind of think you might win.
Well, funny stat that I saw earlier is that we've won the last 6 times we've been to Craven Cottage, which is quite ironic because I said how bad we've been over the last 6 seasons. That'll be, won't it?
Oh, you've just jinxed that, haven't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, the guy told me the stat, and I thought, well, fucking hell, that's us done. Yeah, I mean, it's game 1, is it? It's game 2. Sorry, game 1 was, as good as a defeat can be. I suppose is the best way to look at it.
Yeah.
If we play like we played last week, Fulham don't stand a chance for me. They've not improved on last season, and we beat them there last season, so they don't stand a chance. If we're just a little bit off it, then we're back to Fulham having every chance of beating us, aren't we? So,
and then you'll be in the relegation 10, 11.
Yeah, I mean, if we lose tonight, we've got no points from 6, and technically we'll be almost bottom, I'm guessing.
You'll be 3rd from bottom because you already are.
Yeah.
Unless you concede a lot.
Unless we concede a few. I mean, no one's got battered. Oh, yeah, they have got battered, haven't they? West Ham got battered. Yeah, they got quite
yeah.
Wolves
Somebody else got battered.
Wolves play tomorrow night.
Wolves? No, they lost 1-0 yesterday.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, they did, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the dream is that we play like we did last weekend. We win 2-0, 3-1, something like that, and I'll be over the moon, mate. Absolutely over the moon. And hopefully then we've got Burnley at home next week and we can really kick on before the international break.
Yay. No.
So because England will be playing Brazil and
we play Senegal and Andorra, I think.
Oh, we do. Do we? Senegal and Andorra.
Andorra's the qualifier, Senegal's the friendly.
Oh, because that's a nice local game for us. Senegal.
Well, they're coming to us, I think. So it's all right.
Wales. Or Scotland or Ireland. Or I could play a hybrid friendly against Everton.
Stockbridge Park Steels.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I'm looking forward to the games now. I look forward to both games. Like I say, yes, it's been great to watch multiple games a weekend. Loved it. Almost, one small complaint. I know it's not like me to complain, but you're just gonna have to bear with me for a minute. There's almost too much sport at the moment. So this weekend I've watched the Friday night game, which was Chelsea West Ham in full. I've watched Brentford's game against Villa in full. I've watched Tottenham City in full. I've watched Leeds Arsenal in full. I've watched a full card of UFC. I've watched 2 AFL games and 2 NFL games. Got fuck all else done.
You do realise you have a wife and 2 children, don't you?
Do I? When? No, I've told them. That's pay for all TV channels, aren't I? Let's move them on. So yeah, there's almost too much sport. It's gone from like absolutely nothing to watch for 6 weeks to now everything seems to be on the same weekend. And I guess if Formula 1 comes back in a week.
Next weekend.
Oh, does it?
Yep. Along with the start of the NFL season.
Well, luckily.
Is that next weekend?
No.
Or is it the weekend after?
I think that's the weekend after. Yeah, so luckily there's no UFC or AFL next week, I don't think so. At least I can drop 2 off my roster and add Formula 1 in. So yeah, it's going to be chaos. It's just absolutely mental. And the weekend after, God knows what will happen because they'll all be back. There's everything.
It's a hard life not having a full-time job, isn't it? And having to concentrate on sport.
It's a shocker, mate. It really is. I should be a sports reporter. It's just the only problem is I'm not very good at reporting. It doesn't really help me as a career.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think we've covered everything that we're going to do once again for another week of us babbling on and being very upset by everything to do with football that's anything to do with goalkeepers or video assistant refereeing. So I will, as always, thank everybody who bothers to watch, listen, persevere with us. I'm off to get out of this room because it's about 400 degrees in here. And I'm going to go watch some football. So thank you all very much. And we will speak to you all again very, very soon.